Meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. Roll call, you want to? Or I can do it, I guess.
Yes, if you have it, because I don't have a list.
Okay, so we've got Frazier here, Alvin here, myself, Jeff,
Here,
Bert's not here, and Mark Manley's here.
Present.
And I think that's quorum for the committee with Bert missing, and we got Jeff taking the minutes today. So welcome everyone. Could I get a motion for approval of the agenda today?
I would so move. Second.
Seconded. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Okay, so that's good. Approval of agenda for the, or rather the minutes for 9 January. Get a motion for approval of those. I did get the correction, Jeff's name spelling. That's the only thing I found that was wrong when we passed them out yesterday.
I would approve or motion that we approve the minutes.
Okay,
Second.
seconded. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? None. Very good.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask a question? I apologize that I don't know parliamentary procedure that well, but myself being a non-voting member, I don't believe that I can second motions. Is that correct, or am I?
I think that's correct.
Okay, so I have been doing that in the past, so I apologize. So I'll
Okay.
keep my mouth shut from here
Keep
on out.
that quiet from now on. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, then, today we've got a fairly quick agenda, I think. You'll make a discussion, lots of discussion items, mostly, and at the end, we'll try to look at the, mission statement and goals that, have been documented thus far. Thank you, Mary Ann. I see Mary Ann's here today, on our Zoom call, and she's really done some good work, with what I sent her and organizing and formatting the goals so that it fits into the overall plan as well. So that's really good and appreciate for doing that. So first item A is the report on Mr. Fuller meeting and documents engineering along that line. So can you summarize your contact with Jamie?
Yeah, I'll summarize and then open it for questions that might trigger a few more memories, but I met with Jamie Fuller on Monday. I had an excellent meeting with him. It was about 45 minutes long. And we walked through basically the steps of the transition, the sponsorship change. We talked a lot about the communications that are going to be required with county still being primary to get a lot of the information to him, meaning the channel we talked about in the last meeting. How do we get this loop going? I think we've hammered out pretty clear that if it's structural, I'll use that term, then it has to go through the county. If it's questions on policy procedure, then we don't have to go through the county. We'll just talk to him directly, and he'll advise us and help that with it. I spoke with him a little bit about the onboarding of our consulting firm, which we're still in process. We should hopefully get that cleared up in the next week or so to have them on board. I'll talk a little bit about that more later. He was great with that. I gave him the timeline that we spoke about in the last meeting, which is in all best case scenario that once the consulting firm comes on, that within 90 days we'll have the checklist completed. I also spoke with them about the fact that we've got a lot of the footwork already done. Thank you for everybody involved in this past fall, summer and fall, because a lot of the information is already there. It just needs to be formatted to go, to meet the guidance letter. And he was very excited about this. From what I've gathered from his boss and himself, this is, like I think it's been stated before, it's a brand new thing for all of them. And so they were kind of excited to jump in the middle of the process and watch how it goes. I think we have one person in the ADO that has actually seen this done before. Luckily, the consulting firm has done it twice, so I think we're in pretty good shape. So that's kind of the short and sweet of what happened in that meeting.
And there hasn't been any further documents or engineering that you needed. Did you, you did say you got drawings just now?
Actually, as far as documents, and I kind of discussed that we have most of those already there. Engineering, Mike's been really good about getting us what we need. I know there's still some IOUs out there that we're going to be working on. But the county came up with the original engineering drawings, and those have all been scanned in and to the village. Sadly, a lot of them are from 1989. So, as we walk through all this again, the sponsorship is basically like building a new airport. I think we're pretty clear on that. So a lot of that stuff is going to have a redo in the process over the next time period. So yeah, I think we're in good shape on documentation and engineering from his end, from his perspective. We're good. And okay, and then we cleared up the issue of from the last meeting, we were talking about compliance documentation and so.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's my mistake.
We cleared that, and there's, there's nothing missing currently with the county sponsorship down with the FAA.
So that's really good.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the other meeting in a minute.
Yeah.
There's been no further, as I understand, there's been no further report from the DOT, Mexico DOT Aviation Division.
Affirmative. Yeah, we still working on opening that communication line. I think, Mike, you're out there. This will probably be something we might lean on you a little bit to help us with, to get Jane or the guys to maybe give us a call back. And I don't know if you heard me talking earlier, but I'll be down there at the end of February, and I'll make another trip earlier if need be, and maybe get an in-person meeting. So I'll be down in the area. So
I think that's good. Just heads up, end of February, let's coordinate that. There's a conference in Fort Worth. I don't know if Mr. Fuller mentioned that to you all. FAA puts on an annual, they call it a partnership conference. It's actually, FAA can't actually sponsor it, but it's their conference in Fort Worth. So it's the last week of the February, I believe. It's in Fort Worth, so availability during that week is tough. I'll send you the conference information because it might be something you all might want to attend it. It's a good session, and you're face to face with the FAA people.
thank you.
I have, and I'm not trying to overstep my bounds, but I have had some discussions with State Aviation, both Jane Lucero and Dan Moran. They've been tied up, of course, with the legislature starting and stuff like that, but they're basically ready to be engaged. And I'm wondering if, I maybe even we have a meeting, I think, set up next Thursday with you all up at Angel Fire, or is that in February?
We actually need to look at that because we were scheduling, I believe, around the Monty.
Right.
And he would have been February 3rd, but that situation
Right. Okay.
changed.
All right.
That was the last update that I had. It was the
Okay,
February
you're
3rd.
You're correct. Yeah, so I'm not sure the county's position on that. I almost suggest if you all, it's up to you guys, of course. Maybe we try to get the state up there on that meeting, or if it's a Zoom call from them or anything, but we should keep trying, obviously, with them.
I think so. And perhaps reach out Well, no, I'm sorry, it was Todd Tatum that couldn't make it till February 3rd, not
Okay.
Monty. That was Todd Tatum that was only available on the 3rd.
Okay,
So that's the date that we're currently scheduling.
okay.
But that will probably change with the mix-up in Colfax County.
Well, and I don't know that that'll affect
I
it
don't-
though.
Well, because Citra Heel will have to be in on the meeting now.
He can be, we
Yeah.
just need to invite him.
Okay.
And he's been a proponent
Oh,
of
absolutely.
our efforts, so whether he can attend in person or by Zoom would be great.
Okay. Yeah, just a suggestion on that. I guess my recommendation there, let's keep trying.
Yes, absolutely.
They are a big proponent, and I think, Jeff, you remember, and Fraser, of course, the state aviation's always been a big supporter of that airport, so we want to keep them involved.
So
Mr.
who's
Chairman,
taking-
go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt, and this may be a stupid question or just one that I've heard and just forgot the answer to, but are there any required state sign-offs that are necessary for the transference of the airport sponsorship?
I'm sure there will be. I don't have any specific bullet points on it, but
Mike, do you know the answer to that?
I don't. I don't,
Okay.
I think Jeff said it, there's one person at the ADO, that's been through this. So there's a lot of steps, I'm sure, and just getting a timeline together. That's probably your first step, and target dates.
and I want to make an assumption, Mike, and you guys can jump in here on it, but if we're gonna have grant assurance with the feds, I don't know why we wouldn't have grant assurance transfers with the New Mexico.
Within the state.
We actually have more state than we do fed right now. So I'm assuming that, well, that's part of the reason why we're trying to get this meeting.
Yeah,
Is-
okay, yeah, because the state takes the money from the feds and then the state administers it to the sponsorship recipient.
Well,
Go ahead.
you have separate grants. You have so separate contracts, if you will, one FAA and the county, or in the future with you all. But also the state has separate grants, not just the matching grants for the FAA, but as you know, like the canopy over the fuel dispensers, that type of thing, the hangar itself, that's just a state only grant. So there are strings attached to every grant. So yeah, we need to keep them in the loop on how that transfer is made, because this is new to them, I'm pretty sure. So they're going to look at FAA for kind of taking the lead, I think, from the discussions. But it'll have to go through some review, I'd guess, at the DOT on how to make a transfer of like a grant assurances or contracts. So
And what I'm looking for is the FAA gave a specific letter of guidance that was written. And I'm looking to see if the state has something similar, or like you say, Mike, if they're just going to grab what the FAA says and just mirror it and make it state policy. But when the bottom line with the FAA is, hey, see that guidance, you follow that guidance, you'll get this work done. So it makes it fairly organized and easy to check boxes. And that's the way that they're looking at it down there. Well, I'd love that on the New Mexico side when we have that discussion. So that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, I just think that I think the state will be able to do a lot of that, just piggyback, if you will. But I think we don't want to assume that, because everybody has their own set of lawyers, if you will, and requirements and stuff like that. So we'll just need to bring them along.
Thank you, Mike.
So my question, who is responsible? Because I think that meeting has not even been set up yet at all. Who's doing that?
I guess I'll take it back, and because I think Rocky did the initial
The initial invite,
invite.
and I
Yeah,
believe it was Todd, we had to push it to the 3rd.
right. I'll
So
follow
that
up.
was the last update I had.
I'll follow up with him.
I missed all
But I
that
think that is, yeah.
somehow. Okay, so you'll take action for that?
Yep.
And
I'll follow up.
what time of day? Do you have a time of day you'd like?
As of right now, I'm open.
Oh, you done? Okay. I think I'm available. I don't know if anybody, you all want to come, you invited it. It's up to you. Okay, so that covers item B. Item C, airport operations, including the county communications. I was hoping Todd was, in on this meeting, but I don't see him on Zoom at least. And he had been invited is what I understand.
That's correct.
So any further information on that from either Mayor or Jeff?
So I can speak to and I'm not sure in the last minutes if we talked, but Todd Tatum, our commissioner, did agree to come and to all the meetings that he could, based on his working in his own personal business. You know, he had to cover that first. So we did have that commitment, and I'll follow up to make sure that I'm almost sure I saw his name on the list, that was contacted.
If anyone's not aware of it, Todd Tatum has been elected the county or the chairman of the county commission. correct?
Chairman of County Commission, yeah.
And Cy Trujillo is now the acting county manager. Is that still the case? Is that an unknown amount of time, I guess? Or?
To us it is.
Yeah.
Would anybody be opposed to just inviting them all to get Mary Lou in and Cy in and just
I
throw
don't
a
need
blanket out?
to extend an invitation to everyone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no reason why one of them can't. Well, it's actually a discussion we have with Todd, if he
If
couldn't
there's
sit
two and
in.
there's a quorum, so we
Yeah.
might as well just get them all.
There's the issue.
Well, they can announce.
Yeah.
72 hours prior.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, they all have an interest in the airport, so it'd be
Yeah.
great if we could get them all, but I forgot about that
If
point.
they just announce a potential of quorum 72
Yeah.
hours prior, they should be,
Okay.
they won't be making any decisions.
No, we're not asking him to.
Yeah. Um,
Any other comments on the airport operations?
So I have one bit of positive information, as of this morning, we have approved for a brand new computer and monitor system for the airport, for the pilots. We're gonna be putting in a nice new system that won't crash on us. It's already in the works, should have it within a week or so. And, I'm gonna be talking, whether it comes out of our budget or whether we can find a sponsor in the village. We're gonna be putting ForeFlight on this new computer for the pilots to use. So not just having AirNav, but we'll get a subscription to ForeFlight also. So they'll have that. And then if you all have any other things that can go on this computer that will benefit the pilot community, let me know and we'll look at the cost of subscriptions. We did make the decision not to put in a television with, CNN or whatever they were gonna put up on there. Just didn't feel like that was appropriate for the little airport.
We're not Santa Fe or.
Yeah.
We just don't have that volume.
So, yeah, but I think money spent for the pilot community in this kind of thing is gonna be really good. So I was excited to get that pushed forward.
I've been
So-
using the Windy app quite a lot,
Right.
and it's got the capability of putting 6 different forecasts up, especially on the wind.
Yeah.
Which is critical down here. So, and
We
there's
have
one
that.
level of that that's free, so
Yeah, it's up on the computer.
it's there already. Yeah.
So, otherwise, Joel doing a great job. We have, already had one or a couple times that the village has been out plowing runways and ramps and.
Yes, Mayor, I would like to extend, Kurt Depler has been phenomenal.
Yeah, totally agreed. So, as far as ops go, I think it's going real good. We were spending a little capital. I am gonna approve, the purchase of, Jay Mitchell's tug. That's already a done deal. Just a matter of going through procurement and then getting a check out to Jay. So that tug will then get whatever servicing it might need to get it.
It's a universal tug, it's sorely needed.
Yeah, so that's a done deal.
Good job.
What are other things that we've got going that,
You had the problem with the diesel fuel gelling. Is that something we can do something about? I mean, a heater or whatever?
Yeah, Kurt and his crew supplied us, listen to that 911 fuel additive.
I'm gonna transfer.
That'll help the, fuel jelly.
that's something I noticed, you have an engine heater, is that correct? Fraser?
For the airplane?
Yeah, for your airplane?
Yeah.
So that may be something that we'll look into investing in pretty quick, is getting not an engine block heater, some sort of heater. The kitty is not going to be, kitty being the cat that we used to plow, is not primary anymore. Primary is the village coming out. 45 minutes, they had the runway cleared, so, you know, and then 2 hours later, it was blacktop again. Under a small snowfall, but still, there'll be primary, the kitty is still gonna be used. So keeping it warm and ability to get it
It
started,
has a block heater.
it does,
It does.
yeah, okay, I guess when you, 20 below zero, everything froze up. So, yeah, that's status of the airport. Scott?
I do have a comment.
Sure.
It may be necessary to build a separate structure for our vehicles. So we can't keep sacrificing hangar space to put a kitty and the new plow truck in there.
Yeah.
It takes away revenue from planes that wanna go.
We already have that in the works with the roll-up doors on the end of the old
I know
part,
it's
whatever else we need to do.
not the focus of this committee, but that's a concern.
I think for those who are dialed in and have an interest in it too, so that's another piece of discussion, I'll just throw that out there for now. We will be putting roll-up doors at the end where they used to park cars a couple of years ago. So that'll access, so we can keep equipment in there, we'll get the lighting fixed in there, get heaters in there, so we'll have those places too, so all of that is in motion,
Okay, good,
and that's all I got.
super.
Mr. Chairman, if I could just make a comment, Jeff, putting ForeFlight out there on the computer, I like the idea of getting a sponsor, because I think most pilots have ForeFlight.
And that was
Have
this,
Garmin,
yeah,
but
that was the
just about
discussion.
everybody already has ForeFlight, and they have it on their laptop and their phone, and I don't know whether I'd see a need to spend money putting ForeFlight out there, and the pro package is, I believe, $249 or $269 a year.
$249.
Platinum was $360, I think, $1 a day or something, but there's like $150 a year package, I think.
Yeah, the low package.
That's what we're
I
looking
have
at.
the mid-range package
Yeah.
that I use, you know, for IFR plates and stuff like that. But yeah, like I say, most everybody's already got that,
Yeah.
so on their laptop and, or not,
Well,
on their iPads.
So I would appreciate the community saying, oh, no, like you said, that's great. But maybe is there something else out there? If y'all feel like we don't need it, we won't put it in. If you
Yeah.
do, if
don't
there's something
think-
else, then we will.
I don't think we need to spend money on that kind of
Okay.
stuff, but for what it's worth.
No, that's great. That's good input. Thank you.
Yeah. Great. Okay, for item D, status of the ownership transfer consultant contract, Jeff and I had a Zoom call with them Tuesday. And it was very successful. I thought I thought clarifying some issues. My question to them was like, what checklist do they follow? And they follow the FAA checklist. So I mean, we have a copy of that already. And then we're waiting on, or we asked them for a scope statement for the contract. And we haven't seen it yet.
We know we have it.
Do you have it?
Yeah.
Okay. And that went really well. I thought you want to add to that at all?
It was an excellent conversation. I can tell you right now, where we're at is that the contract itself is with the village lawyers. And as soon as the lawyers bless it, and then we'll get that signed and sent off to them. And we are, like to state before, we're ready to hit the ground running on it, the consulting firm. And so we'll be working very, very diligently to get this off of our table onto the FAA. They did confirm that they weren't worried about the 90, 120 day kind of thing, but they were very affirmative that yes, once this is Washington DC, it's going to get slowed down, especially with currently what's going on with hiring and people working. So that will be the sticking point. I think everybody needs to be aware of that.
Been any discussion on costs at all? No.
Can't get down that road just yet.
Anything else, Julie?
No, sir, I just know it's at the attorney's.
Okay, I think that's all we can do with that. And item E, I sent everyone a copy. Had a meeting down at the airport Saturday morning and discussed some of this, but, and Mayor, if you got any comments about it, the statement that I put together more or less expanded the, definite or the mission statement for this committee, and I changed the name of the committee to just say Airport Committee, instead of any other description. And as you can see, it says advise the village mayor, manager, council, employees on ownership, operations, and the management and expansion of grants from the FAA and New Mexico DOT Aviation Division and capital funds to enhance the safety, physical, and technical capabilities to reach 5-year and 10-year goals. So you just want the general discussion about this, if you're in agreement with it or have something you want to add or subtract from it.
I feel it's appropriate. Obviously, the transition is still a big part of this committee, but now that we are the managers of the airport, the scope is broadened. And so I think an advisory committee is appropriate. On everything airport.
Sounds good. And then, like I said in the beginning, Mary Ann is online, and I really appreciate her breaking out how to, I guess, classify these, and she classified them in mainly in areas of safety, provisions, the environmental threats, limited airport capabilities, and engaging the public on some of the ones that I had added in here. So I don't know that we want to go through every one of these one at a time. If anybody,
Well, I mean, I've seen it,
You've seen
and I appreciate Mary Ann being involved in this. Again, it helps gel our committee with the comprehensive plan committee. So I appreciate you taking her input and then working together with her on that. And I think you've got a good document as far as I'm concerned.
and this is not in stone at all. We add to it, we subtract from it, we change it as we need it. Like, I'm wondering if we need to add that, what you explained about supporting the equipment. So that's
I think we can have more discussion. Right now, that's a department. That's,
Something you're
yeah,
doing.
it's our department that's dealing with that, not the committee. I mean, we'll advise the committee, let them know what's going on, but yeah, it's a department issue
okay.
from my perspective.
Jackie, do you have any additions, subtractions? No? Scott?
No, sir.
Anybody on the committee?
No, that was great.
Well, we'll stick with it and provide. Any comments, Mary Ann, from you on this?
You signed on and then kind of cleared data.
Oh, yeah. I thought it would, if it's there, I thought she was here. Mary Ann, we can't hear you if you're speaking. Okay. Not working.
May I ask, Mr. Chairman, does that have to be voted on by the committee itself to make the change?
I think it'd be appropriate.
Is it something that needs to be rolled into the next meeting so people have more time, or do you guys want to do that now?
Motion to approve the statement of the mission planning statement for the airport.
To include 5-year and 10-year goals. Correct. Okay, so we had a motion to approve the mission statement and the 5 and 10-year goals. I'd second. Had a second from Alvin. Guess we'll need a roll call vote if you want me to run down that.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna start online. Mark Manley. We do a roll call vote.
Aye.
Okay, aye, okay, raise your feet.
Aye.
Okay, Howard?
Aye.
Okay, you don't get to vote, do you?
Aye.
Lawrence,
I
Davis?
agree.
Aye, okay, motion
And
carries.
Bert's online as well.
Bird is non-voting,
Oh, okay.
motion passed.
Motion passed. Okay, any other new business anyone has? Hey, Julie?
Mayor, committee members, just for your information, the
request for bid for fuel is out and active. It is due on the 30th, Thursday, the 30th at 2 o'clock, and that's when we'll be opening bids immediately after receiving them. The RFP for airport engineer is due February 11th, Tuesday, at 2 o'clock will be is the cutoff time, and we'll be opening them immediately after. If you could provide some evaluation members for the RFP for the engineer, that'd be good. I'm not sure how many we're gonna get. I have received acknowledgement form from Molson Corbin. So I know I'll have at least one bid
At
coming.
least one good.
All right, and that's all I have.
Thank you.
Anyone volunteer? Engineering contract, RFP evaluation? I'll be on the board. Sure. Scott? These two, okay, oh, we got, that's 4. We look for one more. You're not able to, are you? Anyone else? Scott?
I'd like to introduce Joel. He's learned some of these procedures. We'll talk to him.
You gonna volunteer him?
Last.
Of course. Are we allowed to use employees?
We have in the past, yes.
Okay. Very good. Sounds like we have enough to give you, you need 5, correct?
3 is fine.
3's fine?
3, you'll work.
Okay, got 3 then. Very good.
Rocky Lear should be part and parcel. I don't know.
That's
how-
actually a good point.
How that
Yeah,
fits.
she'll be PMing these things. That's a very good point, Chuck. I agree.
Okay, well, we got more than enough to cover this then. Okay, any other comments from anyone? Okay, meeting's adjourned. Thank you. Forgot all
Mike,
about
thank
that
you
first
again.
February.
I'll send you a thank you to that nobody.
That's a model of the airplane we're trying to get here from NASA. And here's some F-16 flight manuals. Anybody? See what those.
A month to get through it.
Oh,
If you have any questions, call.
why don't you keep bringing all these goodies out?
Trying to get more people to come, but it's not working.
I wanna read that, but can I take that home and look at it and then bring it back to you?
He's got the after one.
I'll let you keep the model.
You wanna keep that for a few days?
After one. Who has the after one?
Scott?
He has the after one?
Yeah.
Take it for it.
Because he was interested. People that are interested.
Or do you want us together?
You want the F4? I got it or what?
No, I've. Oh, because I told her, I've never heard it, she passed it off to you. And my wife tells
So
me.
I asked, like,
Oh, you
email and I was like, has this worked? And then she's like, we need to get it done. And you probably walked in and hugged her, right?
Oh, no, she emailed me.
Oh.
And I said I would be with her before the meeting. She was walking out the door.
We got this one hawk rock.
Oh, wow.
And a bunch of them I have electronics.
Yeah, I hear you.
I wound up with one Kia, Hawker, I have one. Dash 8.
All my carriers.
Structure.
757.
Oh, really?
Do you ever know?
Well, they were getting you to fly Air Force Two or something?
Mr.
75 was Air Force Two.
He used to live up in.
Had the vice presidents and had running. Yeah, that was the biggest.
And he helped write the script
Yeah.
for,
They didn't have his name.
that one airplane.
Yeah. I hear you.
Helped it. He helped write the
Had
script.
7.3s.
Really?
I changed the 7.3 in my
So,
fort
yeah.
up at Jackson Hole.
We
I never flown much going.
Yeah.
All. So I'm not really figure airplane. The one thing that's drove me nuts is there's a button on the fly. You go around and just push the button, but everything switches around. It goes out of time.
Okay. Pick up, go around, but I could not.
You've been in Hollywood.
Yeah. Yeah, all my life. It's just so frustrating.
Yeah, we've got.
Yeah, we had Toga on the. Yeah, it's just, you know, wind shear, boom, Toga, you know, and then pull back and it flies.
And I had so much trouble remembering.
Shelf there. You can tell her that I.
Didn't have it like 16 flag.
Yeah, no. And the guy got so upset with me when I was doing the check
Will
ride.
be.
Really?
I'll
I
bring
was
it up
just-
tomorrow.
I just- I sure know that.
What he did, push the button. Didn't need to push the button.